So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, chapter 22nd, text 6 and 7. Bali Maharaj surrenders his life. So here one verse is here, 7th. So I am reading the 6th one, then we will recite the 7th one. यस्मिन् वैरानुबन्धेन व्यूढेन विबुधेतरः बहवो लेभिरे सिद्धि यामुहैकान्तयोगिनः. So now we'll recite the verse 7. तेनाहं निगृहीतोऽस्मि भवता भूरि कर्मणा बद्धश्च वारुणैः पाशैः नातिव्रीडेन च व्यथे. तेन therefore aham I nigrihita asmi, although I am being punished, bhavata, by your lordship, bhure karmana, who can do many wonderful things, baddhacha, I am arrested and bound, varunai pasai, by the ropes of Varuna, na ati bride, I am not at all ashamed of this. Nacha vyathe, nor am I suffering very much. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Many demons who are continuously inimical towards you finally achieve the perfection of great mystic yogis. Your Lordship can perform one work to serve many purposes. And consequently, although you have punished me in many ways, I do not feel ashamed of having been arrested by the ropes of Varuna, nor do I feel aggrieved. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Bali Maharaj appreciated the Lord's mercy not only upon him but upon many other demons. Because this mercy is liberally distributed, the Supreme Lord is called all merciful. Bali Maharaj was indeed a fully surrendered devotee. But even some demons who are not at all devotees but merely enemies of the Lord attain the same exalted position achieved by many mystic yogis. Thus, Bali Maharaj could understand that the Lord had some hidden purpose in punishing him. Consequently, he was neither unhappy nor ashamed because of the awkward position in which he had been put by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथ नितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णं चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं स हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपीश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्नाय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। यस्मिन् वैरानुबन्धेन बीढेन विविधेतरः बहवो लेभिरे सिद्धिं यामुहैकान्तयोगिना तेनाहं निगृहीतोऽस्मि भवता भूरि कर्मणा बद्धश्च वारुणे पाशैर्नातिव्रीडे न च व्यथे। So here in these verses, Bali Maharaj expressing his gratitude at the lotus feet of Lord Vamandev, who has bound him by the Varuna Pasa, the rope of Varuna. As we see that Bali Maharaj had promised to Lord Vamandev to give 3 steps of land. And when Lord Vamandev asked for 3 steps of land, he showed his tiny feet, that I will measure with this my feet 3 steps of land. And Bali Maharaj was looking towards the feet of Vamandev, who are very tiny, and he was thinking what he will do with 3 steps of land with his tiny feet. But Lord Vamandev, when promised by Bali Maharaj, he increased his size. He expanded himself into a universal form. And with 1 foot, he covered the lower planetary systems up to earthly planet. And with another feet, he raised upwards and he covered all the upper planetary systems. And then now for the 3rd feet, There was no place. So Lord Vamandev was asking Bali Maharaj, Bali, now tell me, where should I keep my third foot? And now Bali Maharaj had lost everything because he was the proprietor, ruler of the 3 planetary systems. He had occupied the position of Indra. He was sitting in the heavenly planets, in the Indra's throne. So now he lost his kingdom. And now he has nothing to give for Lord Vamandev to put his third foot. So when Bali Maharaj was thinking what to do, in the meantime, understanding the mood of Lord Vamandev, Garuda bound Bali Maharaj with the ropes of Varuna. That means Bali Maharaj was arrested by Lord Vamandev because he could not fulfill his promise. He could not give the third step of land. So, when Bali Maharaj was arrested in this way, he was thinking about the mercy of Lord Vamandev. He would have become upset, or any ordinary person would have become upset, because Lord Vamandev did not give much more time to Bali Maharaj to offer something for his third step. He has already arrested him. So, Bali Maharaj was thinking that Lord Vamandev has arrested him because he is unable to provide land for his third step, and all his land is gone with 2 steps of Lord Vamandev. Now he has his own body only with him, and the head is the topmost part and the main part of the body. So Bali Maharaj thought he should offer his head for Lord Vamandev's third feet. So in this way, Bali Maharaj was actually very clever. He offered his head to Lord Vamandev to put his third foot on his head. That means Bali Maharaj desired that let the dust of Lord Slaughter's feet adorn my head. So I will be fortunate enough by getting the dust of Lord Slaughter's feet. Because he already knows that Lord Vamandev was not ordinary Brahmin boy, he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Bali Maharaj rightly did this, understanding that he did not want to be defamed. If he would have not offered anything for the third step of Lord Vamandev, then people in this world would have said that, you see, this Bali, he promised 3 steps of land to Lord Vamandev, but he only gave 2 steps of land. He did not fulfill his promise. He did not give land for the third step of Lord Vamandev. So in this way, he would have been blasphemed by the people of this world, which was Bali Maharaj was very afraid of. He did not want to be blasphemed, or he did not want to be an offender who could not fulfill the promise he had given to a Brahmin. So when Bali Maharaj offered his head, and he understood that while Lord Vamandev has arrested him, if someone would have been in Bali Maharaj's place, he would have thought that Lord Vamandev had cheated him, because he showed his tiny feet and then he expanded his feet to take 3 steps of land according to his measurement. So he has cheated Bali Maharaj, showing tiny feet, then he expanded the feet. So anyone would have thought that Lord Vamandev has cheated him. And before even giving him a chance to offer something for his 3rd feet, he has already arrested him. But Bali Maharaj's reaction was different. He was acting like a devotee. He was a surrendered devotee of the Lord, because the devotees, they are very tolerant. This is the nature of the devotees. So it has been stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that Tiraskruta Vipralabdha Sapta Kshapta Hatanapi Na Tatha Pratikurvanti Satat Bhakta Prabhava Hisa. So the devotees of the Lord, they don't react when they are insulted by someone. Tiraskruta, Vipralabdha. When a devotee is cheated by someone, he does not react violently. Why did you cheat me? He tolerates. He tolerates the insults, he tolerates the cheating, and then if someone curses a devotee, like Srungi cursed Parikshit Maharaj, he tolerated the curse. So devotee is tolerant. If someone curses him, still he tolerates that. Or Kshapta, if someone throws a devotee from a high place, still the devotee does not react. Even if someone wants to kill a devotee, still a devotee is tolerant. This is the nature of a devotee. So Bali Maharaj, he was the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. And he understood, because the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, was Kul Devata, the worshipable Lord of his dynasty. Because Prahlad Maharaj was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu was being worshipped in Prahlad Maharaj's family. So Bali Maharaj understood that Lord Vishnu is our Kul Devata, the worshipable Lord of our dynasty. And he also understood that the Lord is also very favorable to the family members of his devotees. Bhaktair Bhakta Jana Priya. The Lord is very dear to his devotees and the relatives of his devotees, Bhakta Jana. So naturally, Bali Maharaj is in a position to get the favor of the Lord. So when he was arrested by Lord Vamandev, he thought that actually this arrest by Lord Vamandev is not actually a punishment for me. This is actually the Lord is showing his mercy on me. And at the same time, the Lord, when he does one thing, he fulfills different desires or different things at the same time with one work. So there must be some good cause for the Lord that he has arrested me. So, thinking in this way, thinking about the mercy of Lord Vamandev, Bali Maharaj was thinking, Yasmin Bairanubandhena Bidhena Vibudhe Tara. That Bali Maharaj is describing about Lord's supreme mercy on demons. Because the Lord is merciful to all living entities. Samohang sarvabhutesu name desastina priya. The Lord says, I am equal to all living entities. No one is very dear or no one is my enemy. That means the Lord is equal to everyone. But when the Lord favors the demigods and kills the demons, sometimes people think that how is Lord equal to everyone? He is favoring the demigods and he is killing the demons. So killing the demons, is it a favor? But Bali Maharaj says, yes. Actually, this is a favor of the Supreme Lord towards the demons. Those demons, Bairanubandhena, those demons who develop constant enmity towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Baira Anubandha, constant enmity, without any interruption. And Bidhena, and with great determination, they develop this enmity towards the Supreme Lord. Vibudha Itara means, Vibudha means demigods. Vibudha Itara means the opposite of demigods, the demons. Those who are not demigods. Because in this material world, there are two types of living entities. Vishnu Bhakta Bhavet Daiva, Asuras Tad Viparjaya. So those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu, they are all demigods. Those who are not devotees of Lord Vishnu, they are all demons. So Vibhudhetara, those who are not devotees of Vishnu, means the demons, they develop constant enmity towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead without interruption. With great determination, thinking the Supreme Personality of Godhead as their enemy. But what happened to them? Bahavo levire siddhim. But such many demons like this, who developed enmity towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, constant enmity, by being killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what happened to them? They attained Siddhi, the perfection. Being killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all these demons, they attained perfection. And what type of perfection is that? Yam aikantika yogina. That the yogis who constantly meditate on the Supreme Lord, Supreme Brahman, what perfection they achieve with so much great endeavor, all these demons, they also, by developing enmity towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they attain the same type of perfection as the yogis. So that means, without working so hard, these demons, because the yogis are working very hard to control their senses, control their eating habits, controlling their postures, and and controlling their mind and then meditating. But these demons, they are enjoying life, developing enmity towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they are attaining the same destination as these yogis. Then Bali Maharaj is thinking, then what can be called? What should we tell about this? This is certainly the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead on the demons. The demons are enemy, they are developing enmity towards the Lord, but the Lord is giving them the same perfection as the yogis. So that means the Lord is also very merciful towards the demons. He is not only merciful towards the demigods, he is also merciful towards the demons. That means he is equal to everyone. So through this, the Lord is proving that how merciful he is. So here, Bali Maharaj, he is thinking, then what to speak of me or about other devotees? The Lord will naturally be merciful towards his devotees. If he is merciful towards the demons who are enemy of the Lord or who are thinking themselves as enemy of the Lord, then the Lord will certainly be merciful towards his devotees. So that's why he says, Tenaham nigrahitosmi bhavata bhuri karmana. That's why I think that the Lord who can perform so many wonderful activities in one stroke, he can do one thing and serve the purpose of many things. So the Lord now outwardly he is punishing me by arresting me. To arrest someone means to punish him because he has done something wrong. That's why he is arrested. So the Supreme Lord is punishing Bali Maharaj. But Bali Maharaj is thinking that the Supreme Lord, though he is punishing me by arresting me, and how he is punishing me? Baddhasya Varuna Pasir. He has bound me with the ropes of Varuna. And we can understand Bali Maharaj's position. Bali Maharaj was actually ruling the three worlds. Heavenly planets, middle planetary system and lower planetary system. He had accepted the position of Indra. And he was performing Ashwamedha sacrifice under the guidance of Shukracharya. And now suddenly he is bereft of all of his opulences. And now he is bound by the ropes of Varuna, standing in front of everyone. Being bound by the ropes of Varuna, as if like a criminal. So Bali Maharaj is thinking, the Lord is punishing me externally. This is a punishment. And I understand, Baddha Varuna Pasir, I understand this is actually a very shameful position. For a ruler who was ruling three worlds, now he is being arrested by the ropes of Varuna, it is certainly a very shameful position. And certainly it is very difficult to tolerate this type of situation. But Bali Maharaj is telling that Nati bride, na ati bride. that I am not excessively ashamed of this position of mine. That means Bali Maharaj is telling that I am not excessively ashamed, but little ashamed. Na ati bride. That means I am little ashamed. And why little ashamed? Because I am not very pure. Because a pure surrendered devotee, he will never be ashamed whatever the Lord does with him. But if you have a little false ego, because the false ego develops with power, position, and scholarship, the false ego develops with this. It is natural. So Bali Maharaj was thinking, because I had acquired all the three planetary systems, maybe some false ego, little false ego has developed within me. And by punishing me, the Lord has done the right thing to take away my false ego. Because this false ego is the greatest hindrance in surrendering at the lotus feet of Krishna. As long as a devotee has this false ego, he cannot fully surrender at the lotus feet of Krishna. So once when Ramanujacharya was in Srirangam, he was an Acharya there. His prominent disciple Kuresh, he came to Ramanujacharya and asked Ramanujacharya that, my dear honorable spiritual master, I want to understand the meaning of the essence of Bhagavad Gita's verse, Sarva Dharman Paritejya Mamekam Saranam Braja Aham Tang Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Mahasucha. I understand this meaning of this verse. He asked Ramanujacharya. Then Ramanujacharya said that any devotee who gives up his independent desires and serves his spiritual master wholeheartedly for 1 year without any reservation, he can only be able to understand the meaning of this verse. Because here Krishna says that you give up all varieties of religion, just surrender unto me. I will make you free from all sinful reactions. So Krishna is telling to surrender to him. And Krishna wants full surrender of his devotees. So Kuresh wanted to understand what does it mean. So Ramanujacharya, when he said like this, that you have to give up all the independent desires of yours and serve the Guru for 1 year without any reservation, then you will be able to understand the real meaning of this verse. Then Kuresh said that life is very short, and who knows when one will leave one's body. One may not live even for 1 year. So how can I understand this verse with a short period of time? Please tell me. Then Ramanujacharya told Kuresh that, okay, if you want to understand the meaning of this verse quickly, then you do one thing. At least for 1 month, you go outside of the ashram, because in ashram everything is arranged. Residence is there, prasad will be there on right time, so no problem. So Ramanuja said that you go outside of the ashram for 1 month and you beg door to door. And you should not fix your eating place while begging. Sometimes if someone goes on begging and gets some food from one place, maybe next day he will come there, understanding that he will again get food there. So Ramanuja said, cautioned Quresh. He said that you beg from door to door for 1 month without knowing that from where your next meal will come. Without knowing this, you beg from door to door for 1 month. So then you will understand the meaning of this verse. What is real surrender? So Quresh, as a sincere disciple, he did this. He left the ashram, went outside and begged for 1 month, door to door, without knowing from where his next meal will come. And then he came back to Ramanujacharya. Then only Ramanujacharya explained to him the meaning of this verse. And not only this, Ramanujacharya has another disciple, Dasarathi. So when he saw that Quresh, he understood the verse by begging door to door for 1 month, and Quresh was a great Pandit. He had so much scriptural knowledge. Dasarathi was a great Pandit. He had so much scriptural knowledge, and naturally he has developed some pride. So when he came to Ramanujacharya and asked the same question, that please explain to me the meaning of this verse, Sarvadharman Parityaja. Then Ramanujacharya told him, because Ramanujacharya understood he has some pride in his heart because of his scholarship. He knows everything. So he told Dasarathi that, you see, you are my relative. So if I see some faults in you, there will be a tendency that I may forgive you because you are my relative. So better you do one thing. Better you go to Goshtipurna, who can explain you the meaning of this verse. Ramanuja knew well that Dasarathi was very proud. That's why he sent him to Goshtipurna. And Goshtipurna was very knowledgeable, and Ramanujacharya has also accepted mantra from Goshtipurna. So this Dasarathi went to Goshtipurna, met him, and stayed there for 6 months. Every day he would go and sit at the feet of Goshtipurna, and he explained to him that Ramanujacharya has sent him to hear from him the explanation of Sarvadharman Parityaja verse. But Goshtipurna would not explain to him. For 6 months, Dasarathi was sitting at his feet, but Goshtipurna never explained to him the meaning of this verse. And then at last, Goshtipurna told Dasarathi that you go back to your Guru and serve your Guru. Then he will make you understand the meaning of this verse. So after 6 months, Dasarathi came back to Ramanujacharya and he told what happened with Goshtipurna. So at that time, Ramanujacharya's Guru was Mahapurna in Srirangam, and he had a daughter who was married. And Mahapurna's daughter, she would go every day walking 2 miles to fetch water. So, morning and evening, she was doing this. And the path was lonely, and she was also getting exhausted. So when she told this thing to her mother-in-law was very angry on her. She said to Mahapurna's daughter that, do you think I will employ someone for you who can fetch water and cook for our family? And if you cannot do this work, why did you not bring someone from your father's home? So the daughter was upset. The daughter-in-law was upset. So she came back to Mahapurna. And Mahapurna, when he heard this, he said, okay, you go and tell your problem to Ramanujacharya. He will solve your problem. So when Mahapurna's daughter went and explained the problem, so that time Ramanujacharya told that, okay, I understood your problem. So I want to help you. I have a Brahmin here. Dasarathi was standing next to Ramanujacharya. He said, I have a Brahmin here. I can send him with you. He will do your work. So is it okay? So she agreed immediately. So then Ramanujacharya looked towards Dasarathi. Dasarathi understood what Ramanujacharya wanted. So Dasarathi went with the daughter of Mahapurna to her father-in-law's house. And every day he would walk 2 kilometers to fetch water morning and evening and cook for the whole family. So he has surrendered. So he did this thing. And once one Vaishnava scholar came to their village and he was explaining some verses of the scriptures where there was some tinge of Mayavad. And Dasarathi was in the audience, he could not tolerate this. So he started explaining. And then initially, no one took him seriously because he was a cook in someone's house and he was explaining Shastra. But when Dasarathi went on explaining, then they all understood that he was a great scholar. And at the same time, he was very humble because he was working like a menial servant in someone else's house, cooking and fetching water for him. So the people from there then they understood that he was the disciple of Ramanujacharya. So they came to Ramanujacharya and told him that your disciple is so humble and so learned. So please bring him back to your place. So when the outside people told Ramanujacharya that your disciple is very humble and he is doing his household work at the same time he is very learned. So Ramanujacharya felt very happy. He understood now the pride of Dasarathi is gone. Otherwise no one would do such work, manual work. So he went with those people to Dasarathi and he embraced Dasarathi. Because with his great humility he has served for 6 months in the house of Mahapurna's daughter. So he brought Dasarathi to his lotus feet, then again explained this verse of Sarvadharman Paritejya. So here Bali Maharaj, he is a surrendered soul. Though he has been arrested by the Lord Vamandev, but he is thinking actually this is the mercy of Lord Vamandev. And the Lord has bound me, that means the Lord has different purpose to fulfill. Through this Leela, the Lord is actually fulfilling different purpose. And what are those purposes the Lord was fulfilling? The first thing the Lord was testing Lord Bali Maharaj. The Lord was testing Bali Maharaj's devotion and surrender. That how he was reacting. Though the Lord has actually treated him very badly, which he should have not done. But intentionally, Lord Vamandev treated Bali Maharaj very badly, arrested him in front of everyone. Still, he wanted to test Bali Maharaj's devotion and surrender. That how Bali Maharaj was reacting. This was one purpose. And Bali Maharaj thought that this was actually Lord Vamandev's mercy on him. That he was actually punishing him to take away the last taint of pride in him. So, and the second purpose, that the Lord wanted to propagate Bali Maharaj's glory all over the world. That how Bali Maharaj had surrendered at the lotus feet of Lord Vamandev, giving up everything, even giving himself at the lotus feet of Vamandev. So the whole world will glorify Bali Maharaj as one of the Mahajans. Even it has been stated that Bali Maharaj, he as the great grandson, is the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj, who was also another Mahajan. So Bali Maharaj got the mercy of Lord Vamandev, and also by surrendering at the lotus feet of Vamandev, he became also another Mahajan. So in this way, Bali Maharaj is telling, na ati bride, na ati vyathe. That I am not too much ashamed of this position which I have attained by Lord Vamandev's mercy. That means I am little ashamed because I had some pride in me, and that is now gone. And then na vyathe. And I am also not feeling any pain by this arrest. So in this way, Bali Maharaj is actually glorifying Lord Vamandev and glorifying his mercy on him and mercy on demons. Instead of becoming reactive to Lord Vamandev's actions, he was actually glorifying the mercy of Lord Vamandev. And in this way, Bali Maharaj actually surrendered fully at the lotus feet of Lord Vamandev. That's why he has been the greatest example of self-surrender, Atma Samarpana. And it has been stated that by surrendering himself, Bali Maharaj became glorious and attained the lotus feet of the Lord. Even the Lord himself became a doorkeeper in Bali Maharaj's Sutala Loka. The Lord, by Bali Maharaj self-surrendered, the Lord gave him a planet, Sutala Loka, which was even more opulent than the opulence of Indra in the heavenly planets. So because Bali Maharaj surrendered himself fully, he got this benefit also. Though he did not desire for it, Lord Vamandev gave a planet which is more opulent than the planet of Lord Indra. And at the same time, the Lord offered himself as the doorkeeper of Bali Maharaj to protect him. And also, the Lord offered Bali Maharaj, because Bali Maharaj has desire to become Indra, that's why the Lord also offered Bali Maharaj to become Indra in the next Manvantara. So Bali Maharaj is still waiting in Sutaloka to become Indra in the next Manvantara. So in this way, by surrendering himself at the lotus feet of Vamandev, Bali Maharaj was rewarded sufficiently by Lord Vamandev. And in this way, he became glorious devotee of Lord Vishnu. Hare Krishna. So, a little 10 minutes over time. So, any comments or questions? Okay. Jai Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari.